Yang terhormat rekan-rekan dari IEEE dan iGroup Asia, juga yang terhormat Mr. Alex Liu Yupeng selaku Client Services Manager dari IEEE, dan juga narasumber kita pada pagi hari ini yang kami hormati Bapak Ibu peserta user training IEEE Explore hari ini. Good morning. Welcome to our event, Research Like a Pro with IEEE Explore. My name is Ria Riani from Directorate Repository, Multimedia and Scientific Publishing, and I will be serving as your MC today. Today we will have a session with Mr. Alex Liu Yupeng. At first, let me give you some information about his background. He is a Client Services Manager from IEEE. He has been working with IEEE customers in Asia to provide training and support services. He also has a master's degree in information studies from Nanyang Technological University, and he has worked with National University of Singapore Libraries before joining the IEEE team. Please, Mr. Alex Liu, the time and the screen is yours.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Good morning, everyone. Professors and lecturers, researchers, thank you so much for joining today's sharing. My name is Alex. I'm based in Singapore, IEEE office. It's my great honor to be here today to share with you on IEEE Explore Digital Library. So for today's session, there will be two components. The first part is conducted by some PowerPoint presentation. So I'll be sharing some fundamentals about the platforms using a PowerPoint. After that, most of our time will be done through a live demonstration of the platform, how it works, how you can use the platform for your research. So allow me to start sharing. Just give me 1 minute. And that will be starting the first part with a PowerPoint presentation. And in order for me to save the bandwidth, allow me to stop the video. The topic for today is to share with you our IEEE Explore Digital Library, or more specifically, we are talking about research like a pro with IEEE Explore Digital Library. Now, I understand most of our participants here are coming from science background, science, engineering, technology related, and IEEE Explore Digital Library is one of the important resources that you can make use of while you are doing the research. So for today's session, I will be sharing with you some fundamentals about IEEE, as well as IEEE Explore Digital Library. And that's the part I will be doing using the PowerPoints. Starting from the second part onwards, diving into the search results, tracking the topics, research trend, and research and reference management will be discussed while I'm doing the live demonstration. Of course, if you have any questions at any time, please feel free to key in the questions into the Q&A or the chat box. I may not be able to answer your question immediately because I'm doing the presentation, but don't worry, towards the end of the session, I will come back and discuss the questions that you have raised throughout the session. IEEE, as the abbreviation suggests, is Institute of Electrical and Electronics Engineers. And allow me to defend ourselves. You know, sometimes the moment we introduce the full name, some people will say, hey, Alex, I'm not doing electrical, I'm not doing electronics, you know, I'm doing computer science, I'm doing informatics, I'm doing science. Do I need to use IEEE Explore? Well, you have to pardon us for the original name because our organization has more than 130 years of histories. At that time, it's just electrical electronics. There's no computer, there's no smart cities, there's no cybernetics, no. As of now, IEEE is the world's largest professional membership organization, and the mission is dedicated to advancing technological innovation and excellence for the benefit of humanities. We have members across the globe, and we also have a large group of IEEE members who are very active in terms of research and engagement from Indonesia as well. Our core activities, our foundation of IEEE is always the members and our technical societies. Now, if we are talking about the technical societies, so for example, in our research agency, we have different groups, different research divisions, right? The same in IEEE Explore, those technical societies are things like computer society, communication society, which means a group of researchers who are interested or specialized in a specific group of knowledge. And because we have all those members who are active in those areas of research, that's why we have IEEE journals, we have IEEE conferences being organized by those technical societies. And we also have educational activities, which is the e-learning courses, and not to mention that IEEE standards are well known. And in fact, right now I'm using my laptop with a wireless connection to the home router, then connects to the internet service provider. And the wireless connection is based on 802.11 communication standards set by IEEE. The same for our mobile phones. If they are connecting to Wi-Fi, that's IEEE standard. And IEEE covers not just electrical and electronics, but anything that has to do with STEM education and research. Aerospace, optics, nanotechnology, semiconductors, cybersecurity, autonomous vehicles, all those are covered in IEEE. And in terms of the IEEE Explore Digital Library, as of now, we have over 5.6 million documents. They are in full text PDF. And these are journals, standards, as well as conference titles. In terms of our agency, as of now, we have access to journals, transactions, and magazines. Those are available, as well as conference proceedings, IEEE standards as well. So this is also what most research universities and research agencies are starting with, because these are the core content which provide references for the researchers. The qualities of the IEEE publications are great. And this is a ranking by all the journals published across the globe. We have top ranking journals in almost all the major fields when it comes to technology and engineering. And not only that, #1 journals in artificial intelligence, hardware architecture, information system, and even in medical informatics are published by IEEE. And why this matters to you as a researcher is, in order for you to conduct research, you need to refer to top quality publications. And by using IEEE Explore Digital Library, it provides you the assurance that the papers that you are reading, the documents you are referring, are published in top quality, written by top researchers. The world's leading organizations are utilizing IEEE resources. For example, corporations, universities, especially research universities, as well as government agencies. They are using IEEE publications for their researchers to refer to as well. And a lot of them are choosing to publish the research on IEEE platform. So it's a two-way communication. For example, as a researcher, as yourself, now you are referring publications from IEEE Explore, and in the future, once you completed the research, you will publish your research results on IEEE Explore as well. Because IEEE Explore is used by global readers, so by publishing with IEEE Explore, it provides you the global exposure of your research and your reputation. So that provides a quick overview of IEEE Explore Digital Library, as well as IEEE as an organization. Now we are moving to the second part, which is the feature highlights, diving into the search results. Allow me to stop sharing now, and I will be loading a browser, which I will start the live demonstration. Kindly give me 2 minutes so that I can load the browser, log into the system, and start sharing the live demo. In the meantime, if there's any questions, please feel free to ask in the chat box, or if there are any concerns or questions, please do ask in the chat box as well. And in fact, I have a question for you, which is, do you know how to access IEEE Explore Digital Library? Now, our librarian has, okay, I think our librarian is sharing with you some links. I don't think that's the link for logging in, but so my question to you is, do you know how to access IEEE Explore Digital Library? If the answer is yes, you may say, yes, I know. If not, just say, oops, I'm not sure. Right? If you do not know how to access within your organization, please kindly ask our librarians for instructions, because it's important that you should be aware of how to access it in order for you to access the full text document. For example, the PDF, right, which you can download, you can print, and you can read. All right, just give me 1 minute. All right, so I'm sharing with you the website which you can access IEEE Explore Digital Library. Now, because I'm not from within your agency, that's why I need to use a similar account, a demonstration account, to show you the features, but not to worry, the features are the same, the content are more or less the same as well. The first and foremost, the most important thing you need to check is here. Access provided by. For you, you have to make sure that you are able to view your organization name, which says access provided by BRIN, right? Why this matters? Because only by viewing your agency name, then you are able to access the full text document, which means the PDF, the HTML, everything. If you do not see your agency name, that means you did not log in or access the platform correctly. So what you need to do is you need to check with your librarian, check with your manager on how to access it properly. This is the first and foremost, the most important thing you need to do. Once you have confirmed that you're able to log into the platform, you have seen your organization name, then you can start using the platform. Most of the time, we'll be starting with the global search box. And this search box allows us to search the metadata of the publications. For example, the title of the article, the author name, the journal title or conference title, the keywords that are appearing in the abstract or the index terms. It does not enable you to search for full text, which means if a keyword appears in the actual article, then this search box is not able to do it. If you want to search for a keyword that appears in the full text, you need to click on advanced search. Then it allows you to do that. I will be covering the advanced search later. For now, let's take a look on the homepage. There are some featured authors. These are the authors with a lot of contributions. They have done tremendous research, important research, and some featured articles. This is like the news, the latest development in terms of technologies and research. I usually read these articles as well as news and updates. Some of the news, some of the latest updates, and upcoming conferences are listed here. And as you can see, you can view all upcoming conferences from IEEE by this link, see all upcoming. All right, so this is a quick overview of the homepage. Again, most of us will just start with the global search box, which is here. Right. So in this case, let's start with a simple concept. Now, imagine I'm working with, I'm working on autonomous vehicles. I'm looking for radar for detection, obstacles detection, which is used in autonomous vehicles, in self-driving, in smart city, in safe road, safe city, all these kind of things. So if I look into this concept, there are at least 3 levels of concept. I'm looking for radar technology. I'm looking for autonomous vehicles. I'm also looking for things like smart city. Right? So it looks like there's 3 concepts. Now, shall I start doing the search by typing in all the concepts here? My recommendation is not. 3 concepts is too much to start with. I mean, there's no harm for you to do it, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with 1 or 2 concepts. Let's say I start with 2 concepts. The first concept is radar, which is fine. And the second concept is autonomous vehicles, right? Now, you notice I put out a quotation mark because what I'm doing is I'm searching the exact phrase of autonomous vehicles. But then again, sometimes autonomous vehicles, it can spell out as AV, autonomous vehicles. So AV and autonomous vehicles are similar. So what I will do is I will add a Boolean operator or. And sometimes they will say or, self-driving cars, self-driving vehicles, things like this. You notice I'm adding another concept with or. So this is the second concept. I'm adding in 1 pair of parentheses to indicate this is the second concept. So this whole string is a second concept. And radar is the first concept. How do I combine the 2 concepts together is I will use a Boolean operator, and because I need to ensure that both radar and autonomous vehicles will appear in the search result. So this is how I start with 2 concepts. And now you understand why I do not recommend you to start with 3, right? Because if you want to add another one, then you need to keep adding on the keywords, which is too long, right? So I'm starting with 2 concepts. Some of us might be wondering, hey, Alex, this is too long, can I start with 1? Yes, you can start with 1, but let's start with 2 first. Let's see how it goes, right? Do a search, and the system will be searching based on the keyword we are using, and it will provide a list of results. Out of the 5.6 million documents, we have 1,800 results. I would say this is a well-defined searching. Why? Because the number of results is manageable. We are talking about 1,800. We are not talking about 1 million or 100,000, right? So it's manageable. And the keyword I'm using is listed here. And it also tells me out of the 1,800, we have conferences, we have journals, we have magazines, we have books. So in this case, let's say I'm a researcher who would like to start with something that is lighter to read. For example, magazines. Magazines are not as complicated as journals or conference. So magazine articles are usually easier. So I can select magazine and click apply. But however, if let's say you are a researcher who is diving into these technologies, then I strongly recommend you to read journals and conferences, because this is where the serious research is about, right? You can use this, click on apply, and this serves as a filter. And so from 1,800 down to 1,700, which means most of the research is actually about conference paper, journal paper. And furthermore, on the left-hand side, there are a lot of filters. For example, the earliest one is 1974, half a century ago. Do you want to read a publication that's half a century ago? If you ask me, most likely I want to read publications, say in the past 10 years, right? From 2012 to 2022, past 10 years. So I click on apply. I'm using year as a filter. Research output in the past 10 years. I'm down to 1,400. Furthermore, who are the researchers that has been publishing the most? The first researcher has published 17 articles, second researcher 15 articles, 10. So these people are the researchers who has been publishing a lot on this particular area. Now imagine you are a researcher working on this domain. I will recommend you to check out who these people are, because you may want to connect with them, maybe collaborate with them, because they are well-known researchers who publish a lot of research, isn't it? The same goes for author affiliation. What research organizations has been publishing a lot? France. And the second one, Uber. No surprise, right? Because they are talking about self-driving cars. And US from Singapore, this is Singapore SMIT. France, Germany, Uber again. South Korea, France, US, Toronto. As you can see, it's across the globe. You have researchers from Singapore, France, Germany, US, Canada, Cambridge. This is in US as well, Japan. So we are talking about global research output. Again, these provide you a list of possible collaborations with these organizations. If you ask me, one of the important filter I would use is publication topics. Now, out of this 1,400 papers that are published in the past 10 years on radar and autonomous vehicles, what are the specific subdomains they are talking about? They are talking about optical radar. They are talking about mobile robots, object detection, road vehicles, artificial intelligence, AI learning, cameras, robot vision, sensor, road safety, road imaging, driver information system. Now, imagine you are a researcher who wants to specialize in zoom in one specific domain. So this list will tell you how many research output or references are there available in this particular area. And if you are someone who is new in this research domain and you are wondering, where should I go? Which direction, which subtopic should I zoom into? Then I will recommend you to take a look at this publication topic. What are the directions and what are the number of existing publications available for you as a reference? For example, I'm interested purely in optical radar. I'm not interested, in AIs or whatsoever. I'm just interested in optical radar. Fine, just select optical radar and apply. Then from 1,400, we are down to 600 publications which focus on optical radar. Then look at it. Radar-based approach for pedestrian identification in AV. Exactly what we are talking about, right? And self-driving system, millimeter wave radar, and conventional neural networks, photonic radar, imaging radar. So all these are talking about radars that are used in optical radar used in autonomous vehicles, right? So it's a specific, it's a narrow, zoomed in research domain. And from there, you can move forward. For example, now I have identified this specific domain of optical radar. I can start reading the document. And you may be wondering, hey, Alex, I know how to read an article, right? Just click on the PDF. Just click on it and read. Sure, no problem. But before we look into the articles, let's look at the sorting options. Because by default is relevance. And this is how a lot of platforms are sorting the results as well. However, I will recommend you to take a look at, for example, most cited by papers and most cited by patents, especially the one on by patents. As a researcher, I'm sure you are familiar with cited by papers, right? Because that is about the research is being cited by published articles. Like in this case, the article has been cited by 7 papers. However, because the technology, the research we are talking about, radar, autonomous vehicles, optical radar, this is a very practical research domain. We are not talking about pure mathematics or pure physics, which is purely laboratory based, but we are talking about something that is heavily used in the industries, in the development and design of actual products that are going to be used in the market. That's why cited by patents are actually quite important, because patents are the intellectual properties and the innovations which has the possibility of being applied in the real products. So in this case, I'm interested to know what are the papers and the patents that are actually citing this article. Reading the paper is easy, just click on the PDF. But what I'm going to do is, as you can see, everything is hyperlinked. I'm clicking on the patent hyperlink to see what are the 8 patents that are citing the paper. So let's look at it. Sorry. This is the PDF. We're all familiar with how to read a PDF document. The images, lots of text, images, diagrams, charts, even mathematical expressions, functions, diagram, then another expression, and this is in vector form, right? A lot of mathematics, results, analysis of the results, the graph, the diagram, the vector analysis, diagrams, future works, reference lists, a standard PDF document. Let's look at the citations. So we are talking about this paper has 8 citations from patents, right? Patent citation is 8. And you notice IEEE Explore provides a direct link to the patents that are citing the article. So for example, this is a patent, and the patent name is identifying a stopping place for an autonomous vehicles. This sounds interesting. It's like, the car is finding a spot for us to stop, right? So I would like to read this patent. Can I do it? Sure. All you have to do is you can either click on View at Patent Office or click on this PDF icon to open it from Google Patents. Let's look at the US Patent Office first. This is a page from US Patent Office, and it's a full text patent file. Right, it's all here. This is As you can see from the browsing bar, it's a long article. I'm not going to scroll it for you, but it's the actual full text. As you can see, paragraph 1, 2, 3, 4. To be honest, I myself would like to read it here from Google Patterns, because Google Patterns shows me the abstracts, shows me all the images in the patterns, and the best thing is you can download the PDF and open the actual pattern file in the PDF format. Everybody likes PDF, right? And again, I mean, in terms of content, it's the same as what we have seen from the pattern office, but just in the PDF format. You browse the diagrams. And of course, from here, you can download, you can print, you can read it yourself. So this is the benefit of having the citations from patterns. We also provide citation by papers. If you click on by papers, you can see citation. 5 of the citations are from IEEE. 2 of the citations are from other publishers. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4. And if you want to view the first one, all you have to do is, again, view the articles to show you the article, or you can click on the PDF. As simple as that, right? So that's for the PDF. Now, again, we are familiar with the PDF, but what I'm going to show you is, instead of the PDF, you can click on HTML. Why am I doing this? Because there are a few advantages of reading HTML. So if you scroll down, this is reading the full text from the web page. So you scroll down, introduction, the images is here, all the images. Keep scroll down to the bottom part where there's a mathematical expression. I like the mathematical expression. As you can see, this is a function, right? And you can see we have the LaTeX codes here. So if you need to typeset the mathematics, this is how you can do it. All you have to do is just copy this, put it into your LaTeX editor. You are able to generate your mathematical expressions. The same is for the image. For any figures, just click on it. You are able to view the high resolution image. And you can right click and save the image as well. So this is for HTML browsing. So next time, instead of just opening the PDF, you may want to give the HTML a try. And even for HTML and PDF, for example, PDF, in the past, we open the PDF, we save it one by one. But if I were you, what I would do is I will select the PDF, in this case, 3 PDF. I will download all the 3 PDF together. It allows me to download up to 10 PDF at the same time. And if you want to manage your references, you can click on export citations. Depending on the format you are using, you can export the citations. Now, let's imagine I'm no longer interested in optical radar. I want to move to another topic. How do I do it? Well, as you can see, after every keyword, you can just click on the cross to remove this filter. By removing this, I'm going back to the 1,400 results, right? And let's say I'm interested in this kind of research, not just the past 10 years, but from all the years. I can click on this cross again to remove the year filter, which goes back to the 1,700 results. And you can again come to the publication topics and find another topic, say mobile robots. Click on apply, and then look for these 500 publications on mobile robots, things like this. Now, imagine I am a researcher who is interested in these areas of research on radars and autonomous vehicles. And say I want to keep track of the latest publications. How do I do that? Well, if I want to read the latest publication, all I have to do is sort by newest first, right? In this, I'll be reading the latest research, latest publications. So these are the latest paper published in this year. But you see, this is a manual process. Today, on the 3rd of August, I did it sort by newest. But how about tomorrow? I need to come back to IEEE Explore again to key in the keywords, to apply all the filters, then sort by newest first. Then find out what are the latest papers. Have I read this paper yesterday or last night? I can't remember. This is a very manual process. So if I were you, I wish there's some kind of reminder so that whenever there's a new paper published on this topic, I will receive an email or alert says, hey, Alex, there are 3 new articles published on this particular topic that you have not read because they are new, they're just published. That saves me a lot of time of coming back and do all these searchings, isn't it? So in order for me to do that, I need to set a search alert, because search alert is about setting up alerts for the search that I've done. In order for me to set the search alert, I need to have a personal account, right? So if I come back, I need to have a personal account. So how do I get a personal account? If you look at the top right corner here, it says create account. Just click on it. Don't worry, we are not asking for your credit card number. We're not asking for your bank account number. No, we are just asking for your name, your email address, and the password set by yourself. That's it. Once you create an account, come back and log in. And once you log in, you will be able to see your name. And once you have seen your name, welcome Alex Liu, this is my account. Once I have seen my name, what I can do is I can set a search alert. Right. So in this case, say it's Rita Ieee. Right? So it's all about Rita for autonomous vehicles. Click on save. And your search has been successfully saved. Where did it save into? It's under my settings, alerts. And under alerts, did you see this saved searches? Right? Rita Ieee, this is my keywords. These are my keywords used for searching, and this is my filters. I'm looking only for journals and conferences. So what will happen now is the next time, if there's any paper which matches my search criteria, I will receive an email alert says, hey, Alex, does 3 new articles matches your search criteria for Rita Ieee autonomous vehicles? And they will provide me 3 links, which links me back to IEEE Explore. I can start reading the articles. And this ensures me I'm reading the latest research. And with your personal account, under my settings, under alerts, you can set up all kinds of alerts. For example, the one I like the most, other than saved searches, is actually journals and magazines. Because from here, you can find a list of all the IEEE journals. You see, this is a long list of all the IEEE journals. And if you are interested in any of these journals, for example, Internet of Things, right? I like to read things on Internet of Things. So we have Internet of Things journal, Internet of Things magazine. I select them, click on update. The next time these journals and magazines publish a new issue, I will receive an email alert which says, hey, Alex, IEEE Internet of Things journal just published a new issue, and these are the papers, right? So with that, I will be reading the latest publications from those journals and magazines. So personally, I strongly recommend you to use at least journals and magazines and saved searches to follow your research topic or the journals. We have other search alerts, for example, author citation books, which due to the time constraint, I'm not going to cover them, but please feel free to browse them. So for example, for me, I'm following a few authors. So the next time, if these authors publish a new article, I will receive the email alerts as well, right? You may want to do so for the researchers that are published the most in your research field. Remember, just now we talked about the authors, right? So if you want to follow, next time this particular researcher publish a new article, you can create a search alert. So as I was suggesting earlier, everything is hyperlinked. The author name is hyperlinked. So if you want to know who the author is, all you have to do is click on the author name, and it will bring to you what we call an author profile. The pictures, the author, where the researcher or the author is coming from France, right? The publication topics and all his publications. Not just the paper that you are referring to, but all the 149 publications. A lot of them are new. This particular author is still publishing, so this ensures you to read the latest publications. As you can see, we even have a diagram to show the researcher's publication trend. And this researcher has been publishing consistently throughout the years. If I were you, I definitely want to follow the author. I will also check out who are the co-authors that this person is working with. So these are all the co-authors that he has been working with, right? So this is how it works. Again, everything is hyperlinked. Feel free to click on them to explore more information. The next thing I would like to share with you is advanced search. Remember, if you want to search for full text, it's in advanced search. All right. You can select for full text only or full text and metadata. Now, another useful thing which is quite important is you can search by index terms. For example, the author keywords, which is the index terms, and author keywords are here. IEEE terms are here. Inspect control, inspect non-controls are all here. Another interesting one, which I always use, is called author affiliations. So for example, if let's say we know Uber has been publishing a lot of research papers on radars or autonomous vehicles, right? What other companies do you think that there might be research on such topic? If you ask me, I will check out author affiliation, maybe Grab. Any others? We have one big name coming from Indonesia, right? So let's check whether Gojek has anything. So these are the potential companies which might have done research on these areas. Uber, definitely we know it, right? Because just now when we are doing the search, we know about it. So, but how about for Grab and Gojek? Let's do a search. And with that, you can take a look at, again, how many publications, when are they publishing, who are the authors, and where are they from, right? Starting from 1958, I doubt so. That most likely is because the Uber is from someone else or the word Grab appears somewhere. But if you look at, say, the affiliations first, Uber is leading. University of Toronto, Uber. I don't see any Grab. I don't see any. Oh, Grab Taxi, okay. But there's only two paper. And Gojek, not yet, right? Maybe let's give them some time. And more importantly, what are the publication topics? So what exactly is Uber working on in this case, right? And as you can see, AI, traffic engineering, computing, object detection, and all that. So this author affiliation searching is actually very useful for competitive analysis. For example, if you want to know, you can also search for university name. Let's say University of Indonesia, right? You can search for the university name to see what are the research coming from UI. And another useful thing is for industrial collaboration, because our researchers from our agency are working on all sorts of different subjects, different topics. If let's say you want to collaborate, say, regarding autonomous vehicles with Uber or with Toyota or with Honda, then very simple, just do an author affiliation search for Toyota. Look at what Toyota is working on. What are the research topics? Who are the researchers from Toyota who are working on these topics? And from that, you will be able to establish the connection and identify the key person you want to work with. If I were you, I would definitely find out who is this Raquel Ratasan, right? I want to find out who this person is because it seems likely he has been publishing a lot. So this is using author affiliation as well as other functions and advanced search to dive into specific industrial knowledge. You can browse, explore for other searching fields. And if you want to learn more, please feel free to look at these 4 pages, which will explain to you about data fields, search examples, search operator, search tips, for you to find out how you can continue the searching. And furthermore, we have under help, resources and help, we have a lot of videos, short videos to guide you on how to search IEEE Explore. Under videos and trainings, they're all here. As you can see, video tutorials. We have detailed explanation on advanced search, how to do the browsing, how to manage your alerts. We have a new feature, which is my research project and my favorites. If you want to know more about your personal account, we have a video on personalization. So all these videos are like 4 to 5 minutes for you to explore, to learn how to use a specific feature in IEEE Explore. All right, so with that, I'm concluding my quick sharing on IEEE Explore Digital Library. This is just an initial beginning introduction to the functions and features of the platform. There are a lot of additional features available. For example, the platform also supports programming code, research data, and additional resources. So maybe in the future, we can organize another session which we can dive into the additional features for advanced users. But for now, if you are new to IEEE Explore, I will recommend you to leverage on what I have shared with you today to start using the platform, explore the functions and the features, and make IEEE Explore your primary source for references and research when it comes to technology, innovation, and engineering research. All right, thank you very much for your time and patience. Allow me to stop my screen sharing and let's see if there's any questions.
Thank you, Mr. Alex Liu. Very impressive presentation and very informative for us to know about refined searches in IEEE Explore. Jika Bapak Ibu memiliki pertanyaan baik dalam bahasa Indonesia atau bahasa Inggris, silahkan dituliskan di kolom chat, atau jika ingin bertanya langsung kepada Mr. Alex Liu, dipersilakan untuk unmute. Apakah ada pertanyaan? Mr. Alex Liu, maybe we wait. Oh, Bapak Yanto Suyatno, dipersilakan Pak untuk unmute.
Ya, terima kasih banyak. Ya, Mr. Alex, I just want wondering the IEEE, is this only for the electrical and electronic area? Yes, this is my question.
Thank you very much for the question. And I'm not sure whether you attended the beginning of the session. I was actually making a very light joke about, or actually self-joking about our name. And your question is right on the spot. Allow me to start my sharing again. You know, every time when I share my name, I mean the name of our organization, which is Institute of Electrical and Electronics Engineers, I get exactly the same question that was asked by you, which is this just about electrical and electronics engineers? And if you have attended my session since the beginning, I was making a light joke that you have to forgive us for the name, because our organization was established in the 19th century. We have more than 130 years of histories. At that time, there is nothing else. In fact, electricity was just discovered and electronics was just invented. Again, coming back to your topic, it's not just about electrical and electronics. I don't think optics is about electronics, right? It's about physics. And if you are talking about smart cities, and if you are talking about computer science, that's a new domain. And in fact, IEEE has a lot of research on bioinformatics. That's not electrical at all, right? And we have a lot of research on health sciences, smart cities, and smart vehicles, sustainable development. And all these are what IEEE covers. So coming back to your question, yes, our name is Institute of Electrical and Electronics Engineers, but no, we are not just about electrical and electronics. I hope that answers your question by making my self-joking again. Thank you.
Apakah ada pertanyaan lagi dari Bapak Ibu? Jika ada, silakan dituliskan di kolom chat atau bisa langsung unmute bicara kepada Mr. Alex Liu. Okay, Mr. Alex Liu, maybe they're still thinking and processing the information that you've given to us. Maybe you could give us some information how to access IEEE outside BRIN, or whether inside the BRIN environment, the login, the access again.
Okay. To be honest, I do not know how the access was set up for BRIN, because this is actually set up by your librarian's request. So you might even know more than I do on how to access, where to access. I presume BRIN will broadcast or announce it through your library platform or something like that. Does BRIN has a library website?
Yes, we do have it. Oh,
yes.
We actually have the question from Fajarian Wijayanto, how to access IEEE Explore when outside from BRIN network.
Yeah, that has to be set up by your library, which means, okay, let's identify one thing first. Number one, has BRIN set up IEEE access for external network? That is not to be answered by me. It has to be answered by BRIN library.
Yeah, maybe I will answer.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Silakan Pak Ramdan.
Jadi sebenarnya dari IEEE kami bisa biasanya memberikan user dan password, tetapi kalau tidak salah dari BRIN sendiri sudah memiliki remote access tersendiri ya, supaya bisa masuk ke e-library-nya dari BRIN. Kalau tidak salah itu sudah berlangganan SSO, Ibu, jadi tinggal dipakai SSO-nya. Jadi memang seperti yang dikatakan Alex, bahwa yang paling tahu mengenai cara akses untuk SSO-nya bisa ditayangkan langsung ke BRIN-nya begitu.
Ya, baik. Berarti untuk internal di dalam BRIN tinggal login melalui SSO saja ya Pak Ramdan.
Ya, benar.
Untuk
Mungkin
di luar
boleh
BRIN ya.
ditampilkan ya.
Untuk di luar BRIN mungkin bisa akses melalui VPN BRIN, nanti akan kami share di kolom chat. Untuk Bapak Ibu yang lain, apakah masih ada pertanyaan? Barusan sudah di-share ya Bapak Ibu untuk akses
Hi Alex, maybe this one is
di luar area ya.
general questions from my customers is there any another web or another page to be an author in IEEE?
Sorry,
Yeah, maybe
can you repeat the question?
Yeah, maybe you could do a quick info about how to be an author for the IEEE, to contribute to IEEE, whether it's a journal or conference.
Oh, so the question is how to be an author?
Yeah, but a quick info.
Sure. I mean, it's only two things you need to do. Number one, write a paper. Number two, submit to either a journal or conference.
Okay, do we have any web page or?
Oh, sure. I mean, just give me a minute. I'm loading the. If you want to know how to publish with IEEE, I will recommend you to come to this website, which is IEEE Author Center. You can do a Google search like what I'm doing, IEEE Author Center. Right, the first one is IEEE Author Center, published with IEEE. All the information you need to know about publishing with IEEE can be found on this website. Yeah. Does IEEE also provide search engine for submitting a writing to a suitable journals? The answer to your question lies within this website, IEEE Author Center. And thanks for the question. That's a very good question. And I would recommend you to come to IEEE Author Center. You can find your answers here. For example, if you are a new author, click on author. If you want to submit a journal, click on journal authors. All the informations are here. In fact, preparing your paper and submitting a paper is a big topic for authors as well. And if our researchers are interested, we can organize another session dedicated on this topic of preparing your paper, submitting the paper. The focus for today's session is on using IEEE Explore Digital Library to do the research. Because for the research, you need to begin with literature review by reading other people's paper, then do the research. Then we talk about preparing your paper and submitting the papers. I hope that helps.
Another session, yeah.
Yeah, there is another question from Ibu IS Harsanti. Mungkin bisa unmute Bu langsung. Tadi ada pertanyaan raise hand dari Ibu IS Harsanti. Bisa ditanyakan langsung.
Maaf, Mbak,
Ya.
saya tidak bertanya.
Oh iya, baik Bu. Mungkin salah ini ya Bu ya. Kita juga ada pertanyaan yang lain Pak Ramdan di kolom chat. Alex, we do have another question from Hasina Fajrin R. Does IEEE also provide search engine for submitting a writing to suitable journal?
I believe I just answered that question.
Oh yeah. Is there any other question from participants? Jika ada pertanyaan lagi, Bapak Ibu dipersilakan. Mungkin ini Pak Ramdan kalau ada yang masih ingin ditanyakan bisa memberikan kontak Pak Ramdan atau Mr. Alex. Maybe if there will be upcoming questions, Alex, you could give us your contact, email address, or something that we can contact you again in the future if we have questions regarding IEEE Explore.
Sorry, I was muted. I was sharing with everyone email address, which is training@ieee.org. And I believe our partner, Mr. Ramdan from iGroup, is also sharing his email and contact number as well. So let me just repeat. This is Mr. Ramdan's information. And there's another one from me, which is training@ieee.org. So if there are further questions, you may want to contact us. I just need to make one clarification regarding these emails. If you have a question on why is my paper rejected, how can I get my paper published, which journal should I submit my paper to, can you help me to submit this paper? These kind of emails, unfortunately, we can't help you, right? Anything that has to do with publication, you have to do it yourself. You have to find out the journal, submit to the journal or the conferences. But if you have access issues, for example, hey, Alex, I can't access IEEE Explore from BRIN website, from BRIN library website, then please feel free to send the email to Mr. Ramdan or to this training@ieee.org. Then both of us can follow up together on you for your request. Thank you.
Alex, maybe I have a question for you. How long the period until our paper can be accepted in IEEE journal? Maybe that is quite interesting for our researchers here in BRIN.
Thanks for the question. I think a lot of the question towards the end is actually gearing more on publishing side. That's why I think I was side chatting with Mr. Ramdan. We should have another session dedicated for manuscript preparation and publications. That would be more helpful. Again, I will encourage our researchers to start using Explore, because Explore will provide the reference, your foundation of the research. Then we talk about the papers, the publications, and all that. But because BRIN is an established agency, we are all talking about experienced researchers. So I understand the urgency of publishing. Coming back to the question, there is no fixed answer like how many days or how many weeks. It really depends on the journals or the conferences that you are submitting the paper to. It also depends on the paper itself. For example, if your paper is on something which is groundbreaking, then obviously that will draw the attention of the reviewers. It also depends on the reviewers' time, and bear in mind, the reviewers are not working for authors. The reviewers are doing voluntary work. They have their own research, just like yourself. They have their own teaching duties. They have their own university administration tasks. They are taking their own time to review your paper for nothing. There's no payment. There's no financial award for the reviewing. So it really varies. There's no fixed number of days or number of times. But after your paper is submitted, if you have any concerns about how long it's going to take, what's the progress of your peer review, what's the progress of your paper, you should follow up with the editors. And you will only know your editors after your paper is submitted. So my recommendation is focus on the paper first. Unless you are really in the urgency, say your boss or your management tells you, hey, Alex, I want you to publish a paper in 3 months. Then Alex better find out which paper or which journal publish first, right? Publish quickly. And in fact, if I'm Alex, I need to publish a paper in 3 months, I will most likely publish in a conference because conference usually publish faster than the journals. I hope I answered the question. Again, this is actually a question more suitable for another session, but since it's asked, I'll just share my thoughts on this. Thank you.
Thank you, Alex, for the answer and the recommendation for our researchers. Is there any other question from the participants? Apakah ada pertanyaan lagi dari Bapak Ibu sekalian?
Boleh bertanya, Mbak?
Ya, silahkan Ibu Sutarsi. Alex, we do have question from Miss Sutarsi here.
Ya,
silakan Ibu.
menggunakan bahasa Indonesia ya. Selamat pagi Bapak Alex dan teman-teman. Beberapa waktu yang lalu sebelum saya mengikuti Zoom ini, saya sudah login dan register di Ieee. Kemudian setelah itu saya selalu mendapat surel dengan atas nama Ieee itu untuk panggilan penulisan jurnal ataupun artikel dalam bentuk proceeding dan lainnya. Apakah itu adalah hal yang normal? Karena waktu itu saya mengklik beberapa bidang yang sesuai dengan kemampuan saya, keahlian saya, namun ternyata yang masuk di surel saya itu juga bidang lain yang sama sekali tidak ada hubungan dengan keahlian saya. Demikian, terima kasih.
Okay, Alex, I will try to translate a question from Ms. Sutarsi. She asked a question that she tried the login in IEEE and she clicked on some the relevant discipline that's suitable for her background, but and then she accepted some emails from IEEE, but that was from another discipline that she didn't click on the IEEE Explore. Maybe you can elaborate about this issue.
Thank you for the translation, but it's hard for me to answer the question because I do not know which paper she's referring to. So can you ask her to share the screen so that I can take a look at what paper and what discipline is she talking about?
Ibu Sutarsi, mungkin boleh dicoba di share screen.
Mohon maaf, ini kamera saya kan sedang bermasalah, jadi saya tidak bisa share screen ya. Di laptop saya maupun HP saya ini baru error, jadi saya tidak bisa share screen. Namun waktu itu saya untuk bidang keahlian tentu saja saya memilihnya adalah linguistik, kemudian hukum, kemudian pembelajaran, jadi education, law, dan linguistik. Akan tetapi itu ada bidang ekonomi, kemudian teknologi, itu juga ada tawaran semacam itu yang masuk ke surel saya. Demikian, terima kasih.
Oh, okay, baik. Alex, Ms. Sutarsi couldn't do the share screen, but she told us that she clicked the relevance discipline in law, education, and also linguistic, but she also accepted notification email from the from other discipline like technology as well. Is it common in IEEE for giving us the email like that, although it's outside our discipline, relevance discipline?
Again, allow me to answer the question, which is I cannot visualize exactly which paper we are talking about. Now, discipline is a big topic. One article you can classify it, and for example, the paper on radars for autonomous vehicles. It can be classified under signal processing because radar is about signal. It can also be classified as transportation because autonomous vehicles is about transportation. So that's why I was asking her, can you share the screen? I understand she can't share the screen. I think the best way for me to help her to address the specific question regarding to the specific article she's referring to is if she can take some screenshot. For example, she can take a screenshot of what are the keywords that she has used for searching, and in the search result page, take a screenshot of what article is referring to, and she receives emails from IEEE. IEEE Explorer does not send emails except it's search alert or journal alert. So I do not know what emails she's referring to. So can she take a screenshot of all these things that she's referring to? Then we can see what experience or what problem she's facing. By describing disciplines is very hard for me to provide that answer.
Thank you, Alex.
That's the best I can, sorry, yeah, that's the best I can answer to her question, because to be honest, I still do not visualize what problem she's facing, what emails, and what display she's talking about. Is she talking about the keywords? Or, so a picture speaks 1,000 words. So you take a screenshot, or if not, if she doesn't mind, stay longer for today's session, she can share the screen after everybody leaves, then I can help her to troubleshoot. Otherwise, do pardon me on my limited capabilities, I really cannot visualize her problem. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Alex. Yeah, maybe she clicked some of the set alert and on certain discipline, but the emails that came to her come from different discipline, like maybe she clicked on education, maybe, and then the technology alert came.
Sorry for the interruption.
Mm-hmm.
Number one, if she just created a search alert now, there is no way she's going to receive an alert email, because the search alert will only send an email when there is new paper. That's number one. Number two, on the search alert, it does not tell the discipline. Now the keyword didn't tell you what discipline it is about. Again, thank you for your illustration. Again, I apologize for my limited capability. I do not visualize the problem. So instead of us using a word to describe the problem, the best way that I can think of is take a screenshot. If you want to add additional captions, take a screenshot, add in your questions, that will help a lot. Or if not, we can stay longer for a live demo. She can show her screen, then she can tell me, I can see what the problem is.
Okay, thank you. Then I will try to explain it to her.
Thank you so much.
Ibu Sutarsi, seperti yang Mr. Alex Liu jelaskan, bahwa notifikasi email tidak akan masuk kalau Ibu tidak set search alerts, dan itu pun akan masuk ketika ada artikel baru yang diterbitkan oleh jurnal tersebut, baru masuk ke email Ibu Sutarsi. Kalau Ibu masih ingin elaborate pertanyaannya, mungkin Ibu bisa screenshot permasalahan emailnya seperti apa, atau email yang masuk ke Ibu Sutarsi seperti apa, nanti bisa dikirimkan lewat kolom chat. Terima kasih. I do have another question here in the chat box, Alex, from Hasina Fajrin R. Does IEEE still provide hybrid conference? Does IEEE certify all contributor authors? That's the questions from Ms. Hasina.
Thank you. And thanks for the question. Does IEEE still provide hybrid conferences? I believe there are still hybrid conferences happening, but you need to check the specific conference that you are interested to attend to see if that particular conference allows you to attend virtually. Because each individual conference has its own setup. Some conferences say, okay, we can do hybrid. Some conferences say, oops, I only want to do it physically on site. So we don't have, a standard say all the conferences are hybrid or what. So what I can recommend is you check out which conference you are interested in, then you just go to the conference website and find out, how they are being held. Is it hybrid? And the second question, does IEEE certify all contributor authors? I'm not sure what or how do you define certify, but as long as your paper is submitted and your name is listed as the author, then in that case, once the paper is published, then all the author name will appear. Like in this case, right? So this paper has 2 authors. So these are the 2 author names that will appear in IEEE Explore. And of course, it's these 2 persons decided that, okay, let's hold our hands and publish this paper together, right? The same goes for these 2 persons. And the same goes for these 3 persons. So I'm not sure whether that answers your second part. Certificate as presenter. If you are referring to presenter as conferences, then again, you need to contact the specific conference. How do they, do they provide a certificate? I know in some countries, even like in today's session, for example, I did a sharing. I will be given a certificate, which I don't know what to do with it, right? So again, the best person or the best group of person to contact is the conference that you are interested to attend, because they will have the guidelines and they also have the procedures to answer all these questions, right? I hope that helps.
Thank you, Alex. I hope it will, Ms. Hasina answered. Is there any other question? Apakah ada pertanyaan lanjutan dari Bapak Ibu?
Mbak Ria.
Iya Bapak.
Ini kita udah bisa akses langsung belum ke IEEE ini dengan usernya, membuat user dari BRIN, email BRIN.
Kalau internal Bapak bisa langsung aja login ke SSO, karena kan dikenali kalau di dalam area BRIN, kalau di luar BRIN itu menggunakan VPN Bapak yang di-share di kolom chat.
Saya pernah pakai VPN, itu keluarnya kalau hanya untuk Windows ya, untuk yang OS nggak bisa ya?
Settingannya beda Pak, settingannya beda. Mohon maaf Pak, jadi emang untuk di IEEE emang hanya bisa di kantor Pak, di CWS-nya BRIN Pak. Belum bisa untuk di luar CWS BRIN Pak, mohon maaf.
Nggak, maksud saya gini, kalau pakai VPN itu Oh, itu pakai Windows Explorer, jadi bukan di bawah apa namanya OS Apple contohnya gitu, nggak bisa gitu.
Iya Pak, settingannya beda Pak. Jadi emang untuk yang kemarin yang tadi Baria setting itu yang untuk di bawah Windows Pak.
Oh,
Bukan di bawah
yang
Apple.
OS itu belum ada ya?
Belum ada Pak, mohon maaf.
Oke, ya.
Iya Pak.
Oke.
Iya Pak.
Apakah ada pertanyaan lagi, Bapak Ibu? Mungkin kalau tidak ada, Pak Ramdan mungkin kita sudahkan saja atau bagaimana ya?
Baik, mungkin bisa kita sudahi dan nanti akan ada sesi kedua lagi ya jam 1.
Iya betul. Nanti akan ada sesi training dengan IEEE lagi, sesi kedua dimulai pukul 13.00. Terima kasih kepada Mr. Alex Liu, terima kasih kepada Pak Ramdan dari iGroup Asia Pasifik atas semua informasi yang diberikan. Semoga apa yang dipaparkan dapat bermanfaat bagi Bapak Ibu semua. Sebelum mengakhiri kegiatan, kami sampaikan kembali untuk dapat mengisi presensi kegiatan yang di-share pada kolom chat. Demikian kegiatan user training research like a pro with IEEE Explore. Sesi pertama, nanti siang akan ada sesi kedua untuk research like a pro with IEEE Explore. Saya akhiri kegiatan hari ini. Terima kasih Bapak Ibu atas partisipasinya. Thank you very much for Mr. Alex Liu as our speaker today for your informative presentation and information. And thank you to the audience for your active participation. Hopefully the presentation will be beneficial for everybody. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, everyone. And we will share the materials and the presentation afterwards. Thank you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you very much.
Terima kasih Bu
Thank you,
Ria.
Alex. Thank you, Pak Ramdan. Terima kasih.
Thank you. And ma'am, can I ask for a favor?
Yeah.
Because just now the madam was asking about the question on the discipline. Maybe I have shared our emails, training@ieee.org in the chat again. Maybe if she would like to follow, can I seek your help to ask her to send us an email with screenshot as I described so that I can better answer the question? Because verbal description, I really cannot visualize what article she's referring to.
Yes. Yeah, thank you, Alex.
Thank you so much.
I will try to tell her to send you an email.
Sure.
Through this training at ieee.org.
Yeah, thank you
for
so much.
Ms. Sutarsih before. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Bye, Alex.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
See you later. Bye-bye.
See you. Bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.